Because we had people that called us and say, DRUID is done. That's it. OpenAI came, biggest competitor, you're getting out of the market. And we said, it's not necessary. We don't see it like that. Now we went into the agentic way of working, and we see a lot of difference. We see a lot of difference. We have 2 customers in the same industry, the same use case, one with the old technology, one with the new one, and the changes are dramatic. It is next level, yeah? So this is an area where we grew a lot, and it's one of the processes that we want to invest much more in the future, because this is where you actually get the biggest ROI.
Rewired. Raw, real, unfiltered.
Welcome to today's episode on Rewired. Today we have Raluca. Raluca, who brings over 15 years of enterprise software and AI go-to-market experience. At DRUID AI, she leads the regional sales strategy across Europe, the Middle East, South America, and Asia Pacific, driving adoption and Agentic AI solutions that automate complex workflows and deliver measurable return of investment. Her contribution is instrumental in DRUID's AI expansion across the continent. Her extensive experience in developing high-performing teams being one of the main pillars of the company's current global footprint. Previously, Raluca held a leadership role in a corporation at Oracle, where she built high-performing ecosystems and helped global customers integrate cutting-edge technologies into their operations. She built her experience in business-to-business environment, which remained her playground across her entire career. If you like today's episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment. Every like, every share helps us more than actually you think. Thank you very much. Raluca, thank you very much for accepting the invitation on this podcast.
I'm super happy to be here.
And also thank you for improving our KPIs on diversity and inclusion, especially when it comes to women being invited in this.
It's good to see. I'm proud of you guys for making this.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll get better and better on that.
Exactly.
And before we jump into the AI DRUID and all the things that we prepare, I would really like to ask you, who is Raluca today?
Good. So Raluca today is very busy. Very busy with sales. So I am leading the sales team for EMEA and APAC and DRUID. And DRUID AI is a company that I joined 7 years ago, but it's a company that got founded 8 years ago. Yeah. So I've been here from almost to the beginning. I'm all the time saying that, not quite day one. But I was employee number 9 between 5 founders. So I got a chance to actually see the story develop quite nicely almost from the beginning. And there were 7 years super interesting, because we actually saw the shift in how it's actually, a technology is actually developing. And it was very cool because we actually got on the AI wave before it was actually a wave. Yeah. So we caught it before, and it is super interesting. And now basically I'm leading a team of around 25 people now, globally. I have colleagues in UK, in Germany, in Australia, and in the office in Bucharest, some in the offices in Paris. And I'm preparing to grow even further the team in the next year, because we really want to grow much more.
Okay.
So this is what we're doing.
You said that you've been there at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. So was there a moment during the beginnings when it was, let's say, so difficult that you were looking back and said, I might have not taken the right path?
Never. I know it sounds very idealistic, but never. And the fact that I'm a very strange, I don't know if it's strange or something, but I came from a corporation. Mm-hmm. So I was working in the past in Oracle, and I worked there for 3 years. And it was really nice because, when you're working in a corporation, they invest a lot in you, a lot of training. I was 3 weeks in Dublin for trainings and everything. So something that you don't necessarily get in a normal company. But I got bored. This was something I got because I was at that age when I felt that I don't just want to be a number between all the others. I didn't like the fact that I didn't necessarily have a lot of creativity because I needed to do from A to B and that is it, because from B to C there were other teams that were doing it. I was selling software, so I was selling SaaS solutions. I liked it, but there were two things. First of all, the solution that I was selling ERP, so it's like a financial solution for Romania, but it was not localized to the legislation of Romania. So it was basically impossible.
It was difficult sale.
Difficult to like almost impossible. We had a customer, we had UiPath as a customer. So it kind of helped, but still I felt that, okay, it's very hard to sell something when you don't necessarily believe in it because it's not fit for that,
Market.
That market. So I said, okay, let's look to see exactly what's happening. The first place I looked was UiPath, because UiPath was very
interesting.
Very interesting. It was in the same line, but I really liked the mentality. I really liked the way the culture was. I passed all the interviews, and exactly when I was waiting for the offer to come, they had a freeze in the hiring. So I felt I was very disappointed because I actually I was going through all the process in which the manager back then, he invited me to get to know all the people and, the team that I will be working with. So I was already kind of part of the story.
Your feeling as
Kind
being
of a pre-onboarding.
Yeah.
Kind of a pre-onboarding, So it was I fell from very high. So I was okay, if not UiPath, I had no idea where else. I really had no idea because I didn't want to go to a similar corporation. I wanted something different. So I was working at that time with a friend. She knew that I wanted to find someone else, and she was saying, hey, but my ex-boss has just developed a new company. Really, I recommend you 100% to work with him because it's absolutely amazing. I'll let him know. And he's actually looking for a salesperson, so maybe you should go to an interview. I said, sure, okay. I have no idea who he is. I don't know what he was doing in the past, but I'll go. I think it helped because once you understand who Liviu Dragan is, you get a bit, nervous. So it helped that I didn't know who he was. I knew about TotalSoft, but I didn't know that much. I knew that they were a competition for Oracle in the Romanian market because they actually had everything.
That is personalized for Romania.
That is personalized for Romania. It was actually developed for Romania, so it's even more so. So I said, okay, I'll give it a try. So I had a 10-minute interview with Liviu, in which he said, yeah, I like you. Okay, when can you start? So it was, and all the questions were not related to anything related to the job. He asked me, where did I go to high school? Where are my parents from? So a kind of a background check, so nothing. So he had this flair for people. So after 10 minutes, he said, okay, you're hired. You're the first sales. Good luck. And this was actually my start in DRUID.
How difficult was the onboarding? Because I think it was a self-onboarding there.
It was zero onboarding.
Zero onboarding.
Yes, it was zero onboarding, especially because Liviu at that time needed to leave the country for a bit for some personal reasons. And I was alone. And basically what he was doing, he was forwarding me all his emails from all the customers and all the discussions.
All the potential discussions.
All the, you need to go there. So in my first day, I still remember, I went with Andrea, one of the co-founders, to a meeting in Accenture. There were 25 people in the room. I was like, this is common. This is how it's usually the meetings are looking like. And after 1 week, I needed to go at a conference in Cluj to present DRUID in front of 100 people. I had no idea what DRUID was actually doing after 1 week, you can imagine. So it was a very, intense
cold shower
and crash course in a way, and how to actually, but it was very nice. I mean, I never feared this idea of you need to be involved in absolutely everything. So you're not just doing sales, you're doing marketing, you're absolutely doing anything. I liked that. I really think that it actually made me be much more connected to the company. And the only fear that I had when I joined is that I told you there were really little people in the company, and majority were from TotalSoft. So there were people that have previously worked for 15, 20 years together. Imagine, it was me and another colleague that we were from, outside the TotalSoft world. And we never felt for a moment that we were not part of this team. I mean, it was incredible how they, in a way, forgot how, the dynamics was in the old company, and, they re-shifted everything to the new company, and we were like a whole.
So they were very inclusive with you.
Very inclusive. Like I've never felt for a moment that, a bit of an outsider. Yeah, I didn't know all the people that they were talking about, but still, little by little in time, I'm actually, I think I know half of the ex-employees.
At the beginning of the journey, what was the biggest challenge that you were experiencing or DRUID was experiencing?
So first of all, just for you to understand how DRUID was launched, because it was...
Also, tell us for the people who do not know exactly,
Yes.
because
What
we
is
got
DRUID?
directly into
Yeah.
it, what
we're
exactly
doing.
DRUID is doing.
Good. So basically, as a core technology, we are a software provider. Yeah, we're a software producer. We have developed our own conversational AI platform. Yeah, so it is a one-stop shop, if you want, between all the business systems that the company is having, ERP, CRMs, databases, whatever, and the internal or external user. Yeah, because we are developing business AI agents, and we'll talk a bit more about what is an AI agent. Whether we're talking about the customers of our customers or the employees. Yeah, because, and actually, if I, start to look a bit in the past, we actually started like the first focus that the DRUID AI had at the beginning was internal processes, because we felt like, if you're saying, because now like, we call them AI agents because there's a reason why, but like in the past they were called chatbots. Yeah. Everyone knew, like, if you're thinking about chatbot, you knew that it is that bubble that comes into a website and that's it. So it was mostly for customer-facing processes, Given the whole background of the, founding team of DRUID, that they were developing CRMs,
ERPs.
and so on and so forth, all this knowledge that they had on how to develop a good, operational system, we translated in what DRUID was doing. Yeah. So in this sense, we said it is much more important for a business to be very efficient internally, so that what they, deliver to the customer is super efficient. Yeah. So this is how we actually started. Now, our first chatbot was HR.
Yeah.
This is how we started. And DRUID was actually launched with private funds at the beginning. He leave you, and people that believed in his dream, some people, that maybe didn't necessarily understand what the concept was, but truly believe that whatever Liviu is bringing to the table, for sure it will work. Yeah. So in the first year, because, DRUID launched in February 2018, and until the next year, all the efforts were developed inside, like, let's see exactly how we can actually showcase a product, and the product got developed, the platform got developed, the first HR chatbot got launched, and we had our first customer in the end of 2018, that was Banka Transylvania. So we started big.
Directly from the top.
Directly from the top. It was, again, we had a lot of luck, because it was a consortium between Microsoft, UiPath, and us delivering to Banka Transylvania. So it was a great opportunity for us, because we got the chance to get linked with Microsoft, that Microsoft for us, and still will probably be forever, a very valued partner, because all the technology that DRUID is developing is on Microsoft technology. And UiPath, that was exactly what we wanted to be, in the future, So it really got the three technologies like really to bloom and to actually develop a really cool solution for Banka Transylvania, which was a HR bot. So this is how we started.
So there is something very interesting there. So at the beginning, there is UiPath, who is the engine, and there is DRUID, who is the interface on top of the engine. And at this time, you are looking into developing the engine itself as well on your end?
No, basically DRUID is the engine.
The DRUID is the engine.
DRUID is the engine. So basically, what we were using UiPath to retrieve information from the systems, where the systems didn't expose APIs. And then we were the engine of processing, we were the interface, and Microsoft Teams was the channel.
So it was UiPath is complementary to cover the cracks in the data access layer.
Exactly. And this partnership that we had with, and we still have with UiPath, just for you to know, like UiPath has 11 bots now working internally from DRUID. But how we started, they were actually helping us whenever we couldn't connect directly to the systems, whether they were like legacy, so also they were not exposing APIs, or from security perspective, they were not allowing us to connect directly.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were the helpers that were bringing information into DRUID, and then basically in the platform you can actually play around with the information and deliver it however you want in front of the user. So this was the partnership with UiPath actually took one step further back in 2020 when we signed a reseller agreement in which basically UiPath was reselling DRUID globally.
Yeah, okay.
So imagine it was something that, a unicorn to actually, very strong, and this was like the opportunity that we had to go outside Romania, because our strategy at the beginning was solely to focus on Romania because, first of all of us personally were known in the market. We knew people, we had connections. And we said, this is the safe way for us to test the solution, to understand what works good, what works bad, what are the challenges, what the customers are asking, so that we're much more prepared for the international market, that it's much more, let's say, advanced.
So it was a driver of growth.
It was absolutely a driver of growth. Yeah. Because it put in front of us new use cases, customers that were much more proficient. Here, the discussions with the Romanian customers in 2018-19 were, let me explain to you what we're doing. Yeah. There, they would be, okay, like, we already know what it is. Tell us what are the advantages. How are you doing it? Tell us about technology. So, like, it was next level, So it helped for us because, like, if you think about it, the UiPath model was crack US, and then if you crack US, everything follows. We went from here towards outside. So now we are cracking US.
And how much of the revenue right now is from Romania and how much is from abroad?
I would say maybe 65 is coming from the international market, because now what we did very smart, I believe, is that at very early on, we decided that we don't want to get DRUID to a 3,000 employee company, but we wanted to grow through partners. So we created this network of channel reseller partners that would actually allow us to spread the technology. Yeah. So now they're obviously, even though like in Romania, there are a lot of customers that are working with us, and we have a very strong database of customers that we're all the time upselling to and everything. So it's much easier here. But now the main focus is in the international space. So for example, in my area for EMEA and APAC, for the next year is growing more Romania, because obviously these customers are super relevant, growing UK, and growing the DACH region.
I'm very curious about the fact.
A lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things.
He's going to start with.
Yes.
I'm very curious.
So the profile of the partner that is best suited for you, and he doesn't know it, that is the best suited type of partner for you. Tell me a little bit about it.
So we have, let's say, 3 buckets.
Yeah.
Of 3 different types of partners that are all working very well. Yeah. We have the very small partners that are very opportunistic. They have some projects, but they don't have any capacity of actually integrating and implementing our solution. Yeah. And they said, we just want to introduce you to people and you do you. Yeah. These are the referral partners that we're having. Then we have the resellers, which is the big majority of partners that we're having. I think we have around 150 partners at this point globally that are bigger. They have capacity of actually, integrating and learning the solution. They go through our programs of academy, they learn, they understand the solution, and we do projects together. Yeah. And the need, you, from, let's say, skills perspective, you just need to know SQL, because the platform itself was all the time developed to be low code, no code. Yeah. So it's very visual. You don't need a lot of training to actually know how to use it. So in this big majority, this is why we're using these partners, because especially locally, when you're selling in Poland, usually customers would like a Polish speaker
who's able to understand, is able to interact.
Foot on the ground, because basically I think it is not a sustainable way of growing the sales team if you put people in all the countries.
Yeah.
You cannot. Yeah. Because again, they can grow this much. Yeah. But with partners, they have their own network, and usually the partners are having already a portfolio of technologies to which they're adding DRUID as a sole conversational AI platform.
Like already having a door open.
Absolutely, because basically they already have their own existing customer database to which they will use DRUID to upsell
some other services.
Because basically this is what, this is the, let's say, advantage that the partner is having. They're opening a new line of business.
Yeah.
Easy as that. Yeah. And then the third bucket are the GSIs. Yeah. The big, whether we're talking about UI, KPMG, Genpact, and so on, that are super big, global. And the way we work with them is much more different than how you work with a reseller. But they have capabilities, they are delivering projects. So these are, let's say, the three areas. And basically we have a channel team that is onboarding and finding the right profile. Partners. Exactly. And once we onboard them, they get automatically allocated to a sales. And basically the sales is responsible to create all the go-to-market strategy, go to them with demos, design offers together, and so on and so forth. So this is a way of working that worked for us, In some areas better, in some areas we still have, work to do. But it was very clear for us from the beginning that we need to be a channel first type of company.
Yeah.
And we're still maintaining this road.
So how does AI change the vision of the company? You told us about the plans for growing, but if you look at about the vision that you guys have for the next period of time, I don't think we can talk about 5-7 years. So I'm talking about just 1 or 2.
1 year, yes, exactly.
6 months.
Exactly.
6 months or something like that. What can you tell us about the direction of travel?
If you because that's why I'm saying, these 7 years are super interesting because the technology changed a lot. I mean, little by little, there was always something super interesting that was coming in the market. And I think the main advantage that DRUID had was that we developed, and our chief product officer thought about the platform to be open. Yeah. So this openness and the fact that it is super agnostic to any type of technology, it allowed us to absorb any type of new technology that was appearing.
Yeah.
So another great advantage that we had was that when OpenAI appeared, we integrated it right away. Because we had people that called us and say, DRUID is done. That's it. OpenAI came, biggest competitor, you're getting out of the market. And we said, it's not necessary. We don't see it like that. Because absolutely, it can enhance what we're doing. That's, it's helping us deliver better results. But in the end, what we're doing in connecting with the systems, they're not just agents that are answering, but they're actually bringing information, creating value. It is much more. Exactly. Exactly. So,
were you getting that response from investors or for clients?
Both, I would say. Both. I mean, from the beginning, we presented ourselves as an AI conversational platform. Yeah, because we had machine learning, we had a lot of different tools, tools available at that time. And we developed our own natural language processing engine in-house, which was something that, it was...
Nobody had,
and it was very interesting for investors, because it was all developed, especially because, we were selling in Romania. We had the NLP was working perfectly in Romanian. So a lot of advantages, And little by little, when we actually, when OpenAI came and we actually embedded all these technologies, we actually shifted into making it work for our advantage. Yeah. So we created, for example, in the platform, we have our own embedded knowledge base. Yeah. In which basically you put the link of your website and immediately the bot is crawling the website and he knows how to answer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can do this solely by DRUID. But if you connect also and send the prompt to OpenAI, you get a better answer. You get maybe a summary. You get, a different, I don't know, you want it in a bullet point format or something like this, So it really just enhanced. And now, given that we went from the old way of building our agents, in a tree-like form, now we went into the agentic way of working, and we see a lot of difference. We have 2 customers in the same industry, the same use case, one with the old technology, one with the new one, and the changes are dramatic.
Let me see if I understand correctly. So in the old version, you were establishing nodes, and you would say is going through these stages, any kind of request, and this is what you're doing.
It's exactly like if
if else.
Yes, exactly. If it goes like this, then this is the route. And basically the NLP, what was doing an NLU that we developed, it was basically understanding which were the intents that the customer had or like the user had, and then they were saying, okay,
map it on the branch.
Yes, if he doesn't know, he would say, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Tell
me, or like I'll send it to a colleague, and then they will come back.
And the other way,
is fully the agentic way and fully the embedded with OpenAI, so that it understands. It never gets like in the old way. The conversation can get stuck.
Yeah.
Because if it says, I'm sorry, I'll send it to someone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's it.
With this, you can have endless conversation, because even if he doesn't understand, he will not tell you exactly that he doesn't understand. He'll put more questions, and he'll check all the ways in order for him to actually be able to answer to you. So now the conversation flows much more natural, because basically this is the, how to make these AI agents feel like a human.
Yeah.
And it's...
So considering the technology change, what is the use case that you were thinking that is not kind of doable previously, and now it's like bread and butter?
So many.
The one that you feel that is closest to you, or the one that you see the most in the recent time?
I think where we actually developed a lot in the past years, that it was quite hard from like even impossible a bit at the beginning, was we looked around in the contact center, and we said, okay, how we can create a platform for the agents so that they all the time have access to all the information, be very, let's say, correct when giving the answers to the customer, and actually not need to be trained as much, because people come and go, and then you invest in training and so on. Yeah. So this functionality of routing the customer from the chat to a human agent via chat, we had it from the beginning. Easy peasy. It was very nice, super useful, super working. But obviously, the companies grew, and then they said, we want more. Yeah. Now what we're doing, just like a leap into today's technology, basically we have the possibility to put agents, like AI agents, to listen to conversations, and basically to translate in the ear of the agent what the customer is saying, if they're not talking in the same language. Or you're having the agent that is talking with the customer, the AI agent is listening, and it's suggesting in the on their laptop all the suggested answers and bringing all the documents and everything. So it is next level. Yeah. So this is an area where we grew a lot, and it's one of the, let's say, processes that we want to, let's say, invest much more in the future, because this is where you actually get the biggest ROI. Yeah. And one of the KPIs that we're all the time looking into is how little did the customer talk with the call center agent. Because if they talked really little, that means they talked a lot with the bot, and the bot managed to solve the majority of the problems. Yeah. So this is another way of, looking into how to evaluate the project, if it's working right or not, and if the AI is actually working well or not.
Do you see a moment in the next 10 years when everything that you are doing for support for a bank is done strictly by agents?
Yes, and I think it's not even 5. I mean, because we talked about Banka Transylvania. Transylvania has 8 bots right now running in a lot of processes that they're running. So I think, yes, let them...
In a couple of years, not 10 years.
Yes, exactly. Maybe 1-2 years, everything will be... Because it's like this. We all the time explain, because, this for sure you've heard about the robots that are coming to take over our jobs. excellent. I mean, I would love my job to be taken so that we can be in like on an island somewhere and then for them to
I don't
work.
think there are enough islands. That's the problem.
Exactly. But otherwise, I think it is...
I invite you in Tuscany. There's plenty of place there.
Exactly. You know, like an old $1 house that they're selling. It's absolutely perfect. But basically, we all the time said we automate and we digitalize as much as the customer needs. Yeah. Maybe in a lot of processes, we can go one and to another. No human touch. But we still advise that, hey, at the end, maybe you do a human touch because it adds more. I mean, let's have the bots to do 80% of the job, but the humans to do like the, you know...
The final review.
Or not necessarily, but just like the final touch or like the final communication. Because in the end, if you think even on sales, it is human to human that they're actually buying, you know. You're not buying from the company, you're buying from the person that's in front of you, you know. So it needs to have this. And I feel that if I had a business, I would like my customers to also feel that it's not, you know, I don't have a number to who to call. Yeah. But yeah, when I'm calling that number, first I have a bot that it's answering, taking all the requests, and then I have a human that is saying, I know exactly what you're calling, it's already done. You know, so it's much easier.
If I'm, you said in terms of the customer, do I need to be a big customer like Banka Transylvania to come to Druid? Can I be also a smaller or medium size? What profile does the customer usually has that comes to you?
For me, I would say any customer is a customer.
I would expect you would say that, yes.
I mean, as long as they're paying, they're all customers. No, but I think obviously there's like a ideal customer profile for this kind of technology, not necessarily Druid in particular. You kind of need to have, it is like this. If the process that you're running right now seems too complicated to handle, or it needs too many people involved, maybe you need an AI. Yeah, it is. I think this is like the easiest way to actually do this analysis. Absolutely, like we've sold Druid to companies that didn't have a lot of employees, for example, but they were like online shops that had a lot of, you know, interactions with the customer. So then it absolutely makes sense. Yeah. And obviously we're very flexible with the pricing. So like we adjust the pricing according to the size of the company. We usually like our sweet spot and basically how we started. It was more medium to enterprise. Like, first of all, we started full on enterprise because that is where there is a very big need. Yes, it is they usually have like digital teams that, you know, do the review of the needs of the business and say, hey, we need a technology to solve exactly this. And obviously, because they had ownership, they have the funds to actually go into this type of project. Yeah. But also, like, if you think about what is medium in Germany is like super big in Romania. So we actually, you know, in Western Europe, we also targeted like medium-sized companies that worked very well. Yeah.
So when you say medium, we are looking at turnover over 20 million?
Yeah, kind of like that. Or if we're talking about internal processes, maybe you look into the number of employees. Yeah.
Like over 200?
At least. Yeah, it is like this. I mean, for example, if you're HR and if you're having 100 employees, it doesn't make sense because you see them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you have 2,000, maybe it makes sense rather than you have a team that is doing, paperwork and everything. You just put the bot to do it, you know? So I really feel that it is project by project based. What is, you know, because maybe sometimes it really, really makes sense, even if you're not very big, but you have like a lot of requests from customers or like this, that, you know, it makes sense for you to have this kind of agent.
So currently there is a trend in starting from US saying that SaaS is dead. And this is because companies and people started building themselves the solutions that they were previously renting. How do you feel do you feel that this is true, and how do you feel it affects Druid's future?
It is like this. We're having a lot of, and again, because we're having discussions with like enterprise companies, obviously they have like really big, you know, teams, IT teams, they have a lot of funds. So they're all the time trying to build themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the end, they end up to what?
Okay, so they are failing a lot.
Yes, because it is like this. You cannot expect you as a company to build something overnight, something that we have been developing and fine-tuning for the last 8 years. You know, it is and this is why I think the concept that we brought of a platform, it actually makes more sense, because you don't need to buy the virtual agents from us. You just get the platform, and it's basically allowing you to have all the tools. You don't need to develop anything. We just teach you how to use the platform, and you just use it and you build
autonomous.
your own. Absolutely, absolutely. And this is exactly what we want from our customers. Like, be okay. You want for us to build it? Absolutely, we'll build it. But basically, why we shifted a bit from just the platform to it is a business platform, because what it comes, all the projects that we have implemented so far, we have transformed it into solutions that are pre-built into the platform. So now if I'm selling you now the platform, it's not coming empty. It's coming with over 500 processes turned into solutions that you just build on top.
That you can plug and play and start from there.
Exactly. You know, so from this perspective, first of all, we don't need to like reinvent the wheel. Yeah, because if it's HR, more or less HR is similar in all companies. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Obviously, there are a lot of particularities, but in the end, a leave request is a leave request, a payslip is a payslip. So there aren't a lot of difference. So we actually come with like the skeleton, with the base of this whole process, and we do together gap analysis. And it is much easier, first of all, for you, because it says, okay, I see it. And it makes total sense.
You can inspire your processes even after the
absolutely, because
standard.
I think now, and a shift that we want to do is from just doing consultancy, because this is what we're doing. Like, we were all the time doing consultancy sales, in which you're saying, I have this need, and I'll be like, okay, tell me more. What is the pain? What do we want to do? Let's see. This is one of the solution, but what about here? So, you know, we would be uncovering a lot of things that maybe you would come in the meeting knowing that you need an HR bot, and in the end, we end up with a help desk bot, because basically this is
what you
needed in fact, or something that was much more urgent. But now we want to shift a bit into value selling, because it's not just about the technology, but it's actually what is it bringing. I mean, now the discussion has really shifted into everyone is doing AI, or everyone is pretending to do AI,
or just talking,
or wrapping ChatGPT around something.
Exactly, but like, in a way, AI is coming now in
all every place.
It's fancy to have it on your strategy. We agree on that.
It's fancy, yeah. But in the end, basically, you need to know exactly how it's actually working, yeah. And if it's just it's helping me to answer to some questions, or it's actually really bringing value. Like, we had companies in which they added new products in their portfolio, because they saw that, you know, everything that captured the AI agent actually drove them into, hey, like, people are asking about having this product and you don't have it, add it. Or it's much easier to do the onboarding of a customer, and now, like, instead of you onboarding 200 customers in a month, you onboarded 1,000 because you had the bot, you know? So it's more on the value that the technology is bringing, and I think this is something that will not change.
So the conclusion is that generally clients are failing today to build themselves.
Yes, it is like this. They either come to us and then see the technology, and then they say, we can build it ourselves.
This is IT.
Easy peasy. And then they go, and after 1 year they say, hey, you know, remember us? Let's
4 quarters ago.
Exactly. Or they, you know, there's that saying of death by 1,000 POCs.
Yeah.
This is something that we see more and more, because it's becoming trendy to have AI, but you don't understand exactly what you want to do with AI.
Tell me more about the death in 1,000
POCs.
Yes. How does that look?
Yeah, it's painful. Painful for all parties involved. No, it's actually, because it's like this. We have customers that are super understanding what they want. So they will come and say, like, this is the need. We've done this survey internally. This is exactly what, you know, these are the KPIs that we want to achieve. Perfect. Yeah, this is exactly the ideal customer that we want. And they're the customer that say, we want AI. You know, what do you want?
We want to check market.
We want to do a POC. About what? About what do you have? You know? So then it's basically, we create something that most of the time is like super rocket science, and they want something, and we need to, you know, hey, but maybe we need to like restrain ourselves a bit, or like, yes, exactly, scope it down a bit and everything.
You are charging for this, yeah?
But for the POCs, yeah. Usually, if it's like 1-2 weeks, no, because it's something that is super easy to build. But if it's like integrated with their system so that they see how it works in their system with their data and so on, this is something that we call proof of value. And then we let the customer have like 3 months, 4 months of testing until they know. Yeah. But it is like this. The moment you do not create a list of KPIs or where you want to achieve, or after you do the POC, where do you actually want to go with the full project, it usually just gets dead.
Withers and dies.
Withers and dies, exactly. And they say, but it didn't work. But what didn't work? I mean, like, we're absolutely okay to improve whatever didn't work.
We didn't have traction. People were not using it.
Exactly. But did you promote it? No, we didn't have time. But like, people knew about it. No, we like hid it in somewhere, like really, you had to click 20 times in order for you to...
We put it on Teams. Everybody knew.
Exactly. Yeah. So then these are projects that are failing because unfortunately, and another thing is that if you don't have like a owner, that's why like we decided like not to do free POCs, because with free POC, I believe you all the time had this, let's say, rule. When it's something free, there's no responsibility on either part. Yeah. Because I don't feel responsible because you didn't give me your money. Yes. And you don't feel responsible because you didn't pay anything. Yeah. So in the end, we
everybody
build something.
Loses.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like lose-lose situation, because it says like, I'll test it tomorrow. I'll test it. And then I'll test it like in the last day of the testing period. And I say, it doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't like it, So it needs to be, even if it's like 1,000 euro. Because in a corporation, if you want to get 1,000 euro, you need approvals. So people will know that you're doing this project, So it's all about responsibility and actually having one person that is driving this initiative, that they come and say, okay, this is where we want to achieve. These are the numbers. Let's drive together. And then after 3 months, we draw the line and say, did we get the numbers? Yes. Perfect. We go on. So this is death by 1,000 POCs.
Okay.
And then you do another POC and another POC, but never full production.
So then appears a study that says that 88% of initiatives in artificial intelligence do not work.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the reason. So, I mean, basically, I really feel that if you do not put we started actually to put the KPIs in the contracts, because that's how confident we are in what we're doing and the technology that we're delivering. We believe that the technology actually brings a lot of return.
KPIs like adoption or KPIs like return, like ROI, return on investment?
Anything. Yeah,
okay.
Like it depends on the process. Like if you want to have, adoption in terms of how many messages, how many users are using, how many conversions you're having from just, an anonymous user to a paying customer, how many, appointments the bot is doing. We can do this because the platform is having this tool in which it's actually calculating the ROI. Yeah, we put tags into the process, and every time a process is being delivered fully by the bot, we calculated that. Very
€5.
Exactly, because it's in the end, it's just FTE versus money. How much time a human would be, using to do this process? What is their salary? So that means €100. We added into the bucket of what we saved. So in this sense, it's very like the platform is super graphical. It's basically selling itself, because they're like, I have already 100,000 in my pocket.
Very strong.
But this is how you actually see the value, not in any other way.
We were mentioning, and actually you also referenced that everybody's doing AI. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure you go on the sales meeting with people that want to have AI as part of their strategy. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, with the maybe executives boards you can select, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you assess their level of understanding what AI is capable of doing today?
I think we had both situations. We had CEOs or leaders that were truly passionate about this subject. And it's a pleasure to talk with them because, they understand and they challenge you. And they challenge you with ideas, but, they understand when you're answering to them. And then they're the one that's exactly how you were saying, just ticking a box. Yeah. And that is kind of when you know that maybe this project will never work. Yeah. And we all the time had this approach of, I work with the CEO. The CEO says that he wants a project, but we want to talk with the team that will be actually using it. because they're the ones, like a lot of times we had the situation in which we went to the CEO, they drafted how the bot would look like, we created it, took it to the team that were actually using it, we're like, that's not how we work.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not how we work, So we needed to, so it's all the time, it needs, in order for the bot, like the project to be adopted, it needs to be adopted by the people that are actually using it. So it needs to be all the time, you put yourself the question, is it helpful for you? Is it something that will really, you would actually benefit? It will save you time. It will save you like mental health. I don't know, whatever. And then to have the okay from the CEO that, yes, this is something that my people vetted, and then I want to go, It's never a top down, because in the end, people, the users will, and you'll buy it. They will buy it. And then little by little, you see there's zero adoption. And then obviously at one point you say, okay, but it is not used. It's not useful. We just need to cut it.
So you need to engage with them at all the levels in the organization in order to make sure that it's really adopted by the
Absolutely, because it is like this. Who's adopting it? The people that are actually using it. I mean,
not the CEO.
Not the CEO. I mean, the CEO is actually, the person with the vision, with the strategy. Absolutely. This is exactly how the discussion should be. Look, I want, I don't know, to, with this team of 2,000 people, I want to get to this point with business. Help me out to, I don't know, do an analysis of what I feel that the business is not necessarily working very well. Yeah. But the people are actually using it. And if they're not using it, it's lost. If it's super difficult, if you don't take, I don't know, we were doing at the beginning of times, we were working a lot in retail. And the retail like Carrefour, Auchan, you know, and it's a very different type of retail because you have blue collars and white collars. They're the people in the offices. Absolutely, they understand how to text and they understand how to talk with the bot. But you explain to the people that are, putting the merchandise in the shelf, they need to, because they're also your employees. You need to create something that is, fit for them as well.
Are the people integrating, using today more your chat interface or integrations that you have with Teams or Slack or anything else?
Both.
So it's not, they are not polarizing.
No, because it is like this. Like for internal processes, we usually use Teams. Yeah. Because it makes more sense because this is where the majority of employees are actually, spending their time.
Yeah.
Or in the same time, because again, it is not this or that, but it's this and that. I mean, it can be on Teams, but it can also be on the intranet page as a standalone, exactly, like a standalone bubble in which you can discuss. And again, he knows exactly who you are. We use the SSO, so it's saying, "Hi Raluca, let me know when you're coming back from vacation." Yeah. For external facing, that is more usually our interface when it comes to websites. Our interface when it comes to mobile apps. Yeah, we do not have our own mobile app. It was not something that we wanted, but we embed in the mobile apps of the...
In Teams or in Slack? Or
No.
the mobile apps.
In the mobile apps of the
customer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
good.
think Regina Maria, the bubble there, that's
It's
ours.
yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice bubble.
And in the same time, now because the technology really grew a lot, we do a lot of voice.
Okay.
Yeah, in which there's no interface. Yeah, because you just call a number and...
a lot of voice by phone.
Voice by phone, yeah. Okay. In which it's either inbound or outbound. Either we have the bot to call the customer and say, hey, just remember you have like an unpaid bill. When do you pay it? Yeah.
Because I'm coming.
Or an inbound in which basically the customer is calling a number and the bot is saying, oh, thank you for calling our business. How can I assist? Give me your ideas and so on.
How far away are we from the moment when you will not be able to detect that you are speaking with the bot?
I think quite close, I would say. Like in the past, we were never suggesting voice. And like all of them were asking about voice.
Yeah,
and we were like,
not today.
I mean, yes, if you want, but like this is how now it's becoming more and more authentic.
Present
and
authentic.
Yes.
Yesterday, I had my colleagues doing a demo on Synthesia, which is an AI tool of content design. And I asked them, so how was it different than last time? And one of my colleagues said, well, it doesn't sound anymore as a Moldavian.
Yeah. That was usually, but no, now it's like the Romanian voices. It's incredible. Like we have, like, for example, with Crook, we have an outbound calling that it's actually, you know, in Romanian working perfectly. So it is, I think,
it is there.
It is closer than we think, I would say.
Okay, so
which is
not bad.
I think it's good.
Not terrible.
Yes, I mean, I don't know. I'm from the you know, category of people that I'm not afraid of what I think. Like, anything that it's making our life easier, absolutely, why not? I think it's just people should be afraid if they're like super against it, because this is here to stay.
Yeah.
So if you're against it, you would have a very hard time, you know? If you're going with the flow and understand that you can use this in your advantages to create your life much easier, to free your time of doing things that in essence you hate. Like, no one wants to fill Excels. Like, I've never met someone that says, I would love to fill Excels.
Some Excels in this afternoon.
8 hours of my life. No one, you know? Everyone wants to do something amazing with their life. This is something that's allowing you to do it. Yeah. And I think little by little you need to shift into, I don't know, if it's a necessarily like a job that can be fully automated, maybe this is a shift that you can do, you know, like try to work with it rather than against it, you know, because I don't know here who will win.
I'm trying to summarize and I'll put a question after I do the summaries. So I've heard the fact that a project can fail if there's no ownership.
Absolutely.
A project can fail if people that actually are going to use the technology are not going to adopt it. Is there any other third reason that you would say, well, if you are thinking to implement something, to watch out?
Instead of the KPIs and actually being having the people involved, I think having one single responsible owner, I think this is something that is very important, you know, because I think there are too many, there's actually no one that is responsible. And I think once you have one, you know, sponsor of the project, that's the, you know, and with these three key elements, I think this is the winning. And I would add another one, really, really understanding the need, your need. I mean, to not come with something very generic. I want to digitalize something, but actually to really for you before, I mean, to actually for you to have done already the analysis internally to see, okay, these are things that I want to improve. And for me to come in front of, you know, the technology vendor and say, these are the problems that I identified. Do you have some solutions for these problems? Because I think it keeps us much more focused rather than testing and trialing out.
If you would be advising a CEO as a consultant and you would be advising him on selecting a good AI integration partner, what are the qualities that what would you tell him to look for in this type of a partner?
I think because, you know, you were saying that all AI and everyone is doing AI right now. I think if you want to be a smart CEO that is really understanding and is really want to, you know, implement this kind of technology, you need to know how to pick a technology that is not just answering to questions, but actually really providing information super detailed into, you know, your business. Yeah. Like now we're doing a lot of predictive analysis, you know, so it is next level. It is not just, okay, tell me the weather and tell me, you know, what is the policy in which for me to go with the car in Bulgaria. Yeah. But it is more on where do I stand with my target, and what changes do I need to do with my sales teams in order for me to reach the target by the end of the year.
Very strong.
Very strong. Because it really changes and it makes, you know, the way you're running the business much smarter. Yeah. And this is the difference between having like Gen AI type of, you know, assistant rather than this kind of, you know, agentic AI, super smart business in which, you know, it's connected to all the business systems, understands, writes in your system. So you have traceability, you have absolutely everything. And you can ask all the time, like, tell me the report of how my business is actually doing today.
So regarding asking this type of business questions, are you looking into bridging the gap between dialogue and dashboarding or reporting?
So basically the platform is coming already pre-built with a dashboard.
Yeah.
And the dashboard, we have created it in a way that it is business friendly. Yeah, so it shows only business KPIs. Everything is customizable, so it comes out of the box with like pre-configured. But we all the time customize it to the needs. And each of the business are actually, you know, looking at exactly the KPIs that they want to see, whether it's like how many like engagement, how many calls, how many messages, how many transactions, everything you see in one single view. But this is the health of the bot.
Okay, so I want to specify and clarify a little bit the question. So right now, with the capabilities that exist, you can connect a large language model to a database and ask it to extract information and expose it in the way you want.
Exactly.
Practically creating the interface that you are consuming the information. So this is something that is integrated in the platform,
Yes.
or are you looking into...
No, this is basically what the platform is doing.
Okay.
That's exactly what the platform is doing. It's basically taking information, and this is very important. It's taking information from everywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
so
it's aggregating information.
It's aggregating information, because if you think about there, you know, some solutions in which they're allowing you to, you know, just consume information from their systems.
Yeah.
That's it. If the information is in another like tool, it is done.
Yeah.
You do it manually. Yeah. What the platform is actually doing, and why we actually grew that much, is that we integrated everything. Database, Excel, PDFs, wherever you have information, you put it all in the bucket, and then you play around with it.
So would this put you on the, let's say, on a tier of competition with Tableau in this case?
No, because Tableau is only doing BI.
Only doing BI.
Yes.
Okay.
We are integrating Tableau when
also.
we're doing, like, you know, when you're, for example, and we're integrating any type of BI tool, when you're creating, you know, tell me a report on how marketing has done Q4 last year versus Q4 this year in Moldova.
So you're going into insights that is beyond BI.
Exactly. You go like straight to the root. Like you go to the database of, you know, all the information. So that's why, like, sometimes we don't even need access to the system if we can get access to the database.
Nice.
And that's where the root of information is.
The source of truth.
Exactly, source of truth. Yeah.
Any last curiosity that you have?
No.
No?
No.
Then it's my pleasure to ask the final question.
Yeah.
And this is the question that we are asking all the guests.
Okay.
And it sounds like this. One thing you automated in your personal life.
Good. Interesting. First of all, the calendars and all the calendar reminder that I'm all the time putting, because with age comes
great responsibility.
Exactly. Not only responsibility, but your mind is starting to fail you.
To wander around.
Yeah. So I think I would never be able to live without, you know, all the reminders that I'm putting in my phone. And to be honest, I am using GPT for my 3-year-old son, that every single night, requests at bedtime a story of dragons. That every night needs to be different.
Nice.
So this is where...
So how do you use it?
So basically I write in GPT, please suggest me a story of dragons, no humans, very specific, for a 3-year-old.
No humans.
He doesn't like humans, just dragons.
Nice. Have you tried the Gemini with Nano Banana?
No.
Man, so right now you can take those stories.
Good.
And you can create
drawings,
but you know, catalog
nice.
Papers, like it's crazy. It's
yes. So man, like before
3D cartoons.
Okay.
This is what you can build.
Yeah. So before, like, we actually found this, it was very hard. Like every single night, and if it was too short, he would say, "It is too short. I want another one." So yes, lifesaver.
Nice.
Good. Raluca, thank you very much.
Thank you
for the time and for the discussion. I hope you also enjoyed, because we did.
Yeah, I
Me too.
enjoyed too. Thank
And
you very much
good
for
luck
your
in
time.
terms of achieving those expansions plans that you have.
I hope you'll see us in the news. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marius.
Thank you.